We look at a food chain, like for example, this food chain. This is a food chain. We have a plant that is eaten by a grasshopper, that is eaten by a mouse, and then a cat. Again, we prefer to look at food webs, but isolating a single food chain is worth studying too. So if we look at this food chain, we're going to see a transfer of energy. It originates with the sun, gets trapped in the plant, gets transferred to the grasshopper, gets transferred to the mouse, gets transferred to the cat. But one thing we learn about the universe is that energy can be transferred. It cannot be created or destroyed, only transferred forms, but it is never transferred perfectly. There is always waste. In fact, only about 10% of the energy in one trophic level, which basically each one of these is a trophic level. So steps in a food chain are a trophic level. In each trophic level, only about 10% of energy is transferred. So you can see that in terms of sunlight, there was 10,000 kcals of sunlight energy stored in the plant as sugars and starches and cellulose. That energy is picked up by the grasshopper, but notice we went from 10,000 all the way down to 1,000. So if we divided that by 1,000, you might notice that we get 10. Right? Remove 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. Yep. So only 10%. Or you could also say 10,000 times 0.10. And so basically to move up, you just multiply by 0.10. So if this was, or you could just drop a 0. So this was 10,000. I'm sorry, drop 1 0. Yeah. So a 0 dropped off. So as we go up 10%, we started at 10,000. We dropped a 0 and it became 1,000 calories. And then when that was absorbed, we dropped a 0 and it became 100 calories. And then the cat dropped another 0 and that became only 10 calories, right? So we could do this. They used 10,000 calories because it was easy to do. But we could do this with other numbers. Like what if this was 11,000 calories? Well, then that means that the grasshoppers would have gotten one less 0, so they would have gotten 1,100 calories, and then the mouse would have gotten 110 calories, and then the cat would have gotten 11 calories. You see, we just lose a 0 every time. That's what losing 10% or being only 10% means. So for example, 10% of 100 is 10 because you lose a 0. Make sense? Anyway, so only 10% of energy is actually transferred between trophic levels. It is not a perfect transfer. There's always waste.